You're on the fly, Philo, and I've heard this from TD Jakes, and he's talked about this, and it relates again to one of my favorite verses. So all of the merch, any piece of merch, even the pre-workout, they all have this Bible verse on all of it. It's 1 Kings 3 through 5, and that is when Solomon asked for wisdom. We talked about that. And in the context to that, I've also made a Philo on this. Does anybody remember this Philo? Do you guys know why Solomon asked for wisdom at that moment? Do you realize when the angel came to him and said, I could give you anything in the world? If imagine a Christmas angel came to you next week and you had a weird, like you were tripping on DMT or something, I don't know. And the angel was like, hey, I'll give you whatever you want. What would you ask for? And Solomon asked for wisdom. And the point was, Solomon's dad was really big. Solomon's dad was David. We've talked a lot about David. He was an OG. He flexed. It's hard to live up to that. The point was, he was asking for something he was coming into. He was coming into something that was bigger than him. Oh, y'all don't feel. Do you see where this is going? Hold on. Can I stop? Do you see where I'm going with this? Come on, man. Do you see where I'm going with this? I think you remember this, Philo. Because remember, Solomon says in the verse, he says, but I'm only just a child. He said, I'm only just a kid. This guy he was about to come into a big responsibility, but he humbled himself and he said, dude, I'm only just a kid. How am I going to lead? How am I going to live up to this? Oh, so he asked for wisdom. Wisdom is important. And this is what this Philo is. This is what this part is. It's about wisdom, but it's a different type of wisdom here. And some of you have acquired this wisdom from being here. Some of you have applied what we've taught. Some of you have seen exactly what we're talking about. And this is the wisdom of time. And the question I'm going to ask for you guys with this Philo here, what is your 10-year plan? What is going to happen in 10 years from now? My goal is, I'm asking this, and I heard this again. I heard this from TD Jakes. It blew my mind, because how many of you guys are thinking in 1 year time frames or 1 month time frames? Think about that. Do you not get the problem with that? If you are constantly thinking 1 year at a time and you're viewing your life in stages of based on either how much money you have or based on this week, this month, all of that, you're missing a bigger picture. The point is, when you think in 10 years from now, I hope all of you with the long term, I hope with everything that you're being taught here, everything you acquire along the way, it's to prepare you for a bigger goal. It's to prepare you for what you're going to come into. Pretty much what I'm trying to tell some of you guys. Some of you need to start aiming a little bigger here, or at least not even aim bigger. I'm not even telling you to aim bigger. I'm telling you to widen the time frame. And so you could now accomplish and approach your goals very, much more effectively. Some of you are thinking too small. Not only the time frame, but when you start planning in terms of 1 year at a time, you're still planning too small. Pretty much, this is what I'm trying to tell some of you guys. Some of you, this is your first year. Some of you, it's your first day. I don't know what it is. But at the end of the day now, think about it. If you have a kid, are you going to buy, how are you going to buy their clothes? You see, that's the point. Solomon was a young kid. He was young when he had to take over this responsibility. His dad was big. His dad had a robe. His dad had a throne. His dad was a warrior. His dad had a lot of stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you're going to buy the clothes a little big. Why? Why? Why are you going to buy the clothes a little big? What's the whole concept? Mm-mm-mm. You grow into them. Amen. Do you feel it when you type it out? You see, that's the light bulb that sets off for me. So how many of you are making decisions in your life, your finances, and everything? And how many of you are buying the same size clothes? That funny? Collect Colt today. You're asking about the sizes. How does it fit? Imagine making all of your goals as you're growing and you're making these changes. You've learned more in 1 year. You've experienced more than anything. But how many of you have a mental goal and mental block where you're buying size children for yourself? And you're getting intimidated, scared, whatever it may be. That's why you're supposed to ask for wisdom so you could grow into what it is. You think God is just going to let you walk around with too tight or too big of clothes, walking in shoes that you can't fit? The point is, some of you need to start thinking about what you're growing into. If you don't have a 10-year plan, some of you are planning for today and you're making moves based on your current situation, failing to realize where you're headed. Oh, come on. Y'all don't feel me, huh? I really don't think y'all feel me. Because some of you are looking for stuff today to fit you today, and that's why you think you like something. And then what happens 2 years from now? Oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I can't believe that. Some of you guys, you're like, oh, but my girlfriend like this. Oh, yeah, man, my girlfriend doesn't understand. You know why? Because you met her at a certain time. What about you want somebody who's going to be able to work with you where you're at, and then who's also going to work with where you're headed to. Oh, y'all don't feel me, man. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you all? On every level with your goals, you guys are trying to get into a job. You're like, okay, I'll just do this for a second. I'll just make this trade right now. And you're responding to where you're at, but you're not thinking about where you're headed to. You're making decisions for today when clearly future self is about to put you somewhere else. You're buying size small when you know you're still growing. Your desires, a lot of the things you have now, think about what you're doing. You're acting on today or a limited sight of the future that you think based on what you like and feel today. So that's why Solomon asked for wisdom, so he could have the knowledge and wisdom to know where he's growing and how he's growing in. That's what he wanted. So he could fill those shoes the right way so that he doesn't make a mistake and ends up, wouldn't it suck? Some of you, 5-10 years from now, you're going to look at your portfolio and it's not going to fit. You're going to be a big buff guy wearing size small Gap. You're going to look like you shopped at Baby Gap. Because time went on, you made money, life goes on, year after year after year after year. But all throughout those years, you kept aiming small. You never had faith in the future. You never had a goal to build on around it, and you were scared. So all of your clothes were small. Your toes are probably poking out of your shoes. Isn't that crazy? I think it's pretty crazy. Yes, live in the present. Amen. But know where you're headed. How many of you are starting to think in 10 years? And that's what I want. I told some of you guys slow down today. But I'm also telling you to start, when you slow down, you want to know what's going to help you slow down? If you start thinking in bigger increments. Stop thinking about next year. Stop telling me, yes, have a goal. I want goals, a 30-day goal, 90-day goal, strangest secret in the world. Yes, have a yearly goal. I'm not saying don't do that. But where do you want to be in 10 years? Y'all don't fucking feel me. Huh? That's why I love the cult. You know that? And I love it when people ask me about the cult. You know, we're laughing at all these names. And I love when people give me ideas for the cult. People give me ideas for the cult all the time. And they're like, do this, do that, do this, do that. But most of the time, they're saying do something based on today. based on the current trend, based on this, based on that. You see? But they don't know. We have a 10-year, 20-year plan. The real big businesses in the world, the people have done a lot. They're thinking ahead. Jeff Bezos was thinking about what he has today in 2000. This fucking shit you see today, Amazon, he thought about that 20 years ago. When I bought the stock 5 years ago, nobody wanted it because he was thinking 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead. Oh, you see what I'm trying to tell some of you? You're missing out something big, or you just haven't reached that level yet where you're taking your life seriously, where you have not had a 10-year goal. What is your 10-year plan? So buy more Tesla? Maybe. Buy more space? Maybe. Where's it going to be in 10 years? The company. But I'm not talking about the damn company, you fucker. Where are you going to be? You see why we tell you to diversify? I don't care what the fuck you buy. One of them is going to hit. But the question is, year after year, did you allocate it appropriately? And did you keep this in mind to plan to hold for 10 years? So that you could hold all of it? So that you could get into it? Where are you going to be in 10 years? Tesla's going to do its thing. But what about you? Y'all don't feel me. Because I know somebody is going to listen to this today and they're going to start thinking about, whoa, this whole time I've been shopping at Baby Gap. This whole time I've been buying clothes that don't fit me because I don't think I'm going to grow. You got people out here, the 18-year-old that hears this, he's going to buy me a house by the time he's 30. That's a 10-year goal. And if that's the goal, there's other stuff that he's going to accomplish within there. You realize how important 10 years is? I'm going to blow your mind. Do you realize the whole entire numerical scale of the world is based off of tens? You realize that, right? If you could count to 10, you could count to 1 billion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is 11? 11 is a new set of 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What is $1 million? It's 10 multiplied over 100,000 times. What's $1 billion? Oh, y'all don't feel me. So why aren't you using that building block for your life? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm very passionate about this topic. Because I think this is going to click. And one of you is going to now start aiming for these tens. Now you're going to start looking into the future of where you're headed to. And you're going to grow into something that is worthy of what you're working on today. You know where the number scale is headed. You know where you're headed. That's it. If you can master the tens, you got everything. You can master everything. Some of you, you guys want to make $1 million. I start with 10 grand. Nice. Do it 5 more times. That's 50. Do it 10 times. That's 100. See what I'm saying? Aim bigger. Honestly, a lot of people in the cult, I should be able to ask you where you're going to be in 10 years. And you need to tell me where. Some of you are going to give me broad answers. That doesn't work. You know that? Because when you don't have a broad answer, you'll fail. I was talking to someone. And listen, I'll give you really good business advice. I would sit down and, honestly, when we do the 11 out of 11s, I would talk with this. This applies to any industry in the world. With sales, anything. This guy, he wanted to grow his business. I was talking to him. He was doing some work on this house. And I'm discussing with him. And he's asking me how he could grow. I said, get on the phone, do this, do that. And then he said, well, I want to spend time training these people. And then after we train them, they're going to be good. And then we could expand. But I told him, I said, how are you training them? Do you have a start and stop? Do you have a beginning and end? He said, well, no, I'll just spend a few weeks here and there. I said, that's not going to work. They're going to think you're a bad teacher and you're going to think they're bad students. Then they're going to fail and then it's going to be a problem. There's no beginning and end. I asked him, I said, have you ever worked a minimum wage job? He said, yes, I've worked a minimum wage job. I remember I worked at Foot Locker. Every single one of you have worked at Foot Locker or not, or any job like that. You know what happens? McDonald's, anything. They hand you a big ass booklet. From start to finish, you spend 2 weeks. It says you do this, you do that, you start here, you start there. You must do this, this, this. That's for $5 an hour, $10 an hour. They have exactly what the guidelines are, what you're supposed to wear, what the safety standards, boom. That's what I said. I said that is a start to finish. It has a defined goal. There's a defined structure. See, some of you want to say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna become this. Can you define it? So your 10-year goal, I want it as a manual, more or less. I want it easily measured. Can you measure if there's success or failure? Can you measure if they're doing these check boxes or not? How are you gonna measure? You're gonna look every year, and the question is, did you get closer to that 10-year goal or not? Some of you need to get the 10-year goal. If you already got that, next step is making sure you are always pointed in that direction and moving towards it. But we have to have checkpoints. But overall, the main point of this philosophy is, some of you, congratulations. You're growing up. You're entering a new level. You're going to enter a new level. And part of this one right here is going to need a 10-year plan. Some of you, 20 to 30. Some of you, 30 to 40. Some of you, 40 to 50. 50 to 60. And the funny part is, the guys at 20, that means you're going to do that 6 more times. Oh, they don't feel me. So, it's a quote, baby. 2020. Talk to me in 2030. I want you all aiming towards 2030 right now. Where were you in 2010? I think I was working at Foot Locker. Ain't that crazy? Get the wisdom, grow into it. Get the goal, baby. And take it to the bank. That is your Philo. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. You're on mobile, press high chat, X out the chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Second link for the Nightly Watch. That's the main channel. First link for the Scream Alerts Bootcamp and Real Estate course. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Keep it positive and respectful. New guys, don't be too shy to say hi or too high to say shy. There it is.